I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump spent the day whining about how he refuses to debate in the Republican primaries. Also spent a lot of time promoting a new book, which is a compilation of letters that he received. It's called Letters to Trump, and it's a compilation of letters he received from genocidal maniacs who want to destroy the United States of America. I'm not making that up. It's him bragging about letters he received and posting these letters from Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin and President Xi, and Trump brags about how he gets along with these people and how he loves them and how he has love affairs with them and how he gets along so great with them and doesn't get along with our actual allies. And of course, Donald Trump spent a lot of the day very jealous over President Biden announcing that he would be seeking a second term in office. So first, let's show you Donald Trump whining about his refusal to debate in the Republican primaries. This is what he posted on his social media platform. He wrote, "I see that everybody is talking about the Republican debates, but nobody got my approval or the approval of the Trump campaign before announcing them. When you're leading by seemingly insurmountable numbers and you have hostile networks with angry Trump and MAGA hating anchors asking the quote questions, end quote, why subject yourself to being libeled and abused?" Also, the second debate is being held at the Reagan Library, the chairman of which is, amazingly, Fred Ryan, publisher of the Washington Post. No! Exclamation point. So I guess the Reagan Library right now is what? It's too woke for Republicans because of those who are on its board of directors. The Reagan Library is off limits. You can't conduct a debate anymore in the Reagan Library. And then notice how he always plays the victim. And here he goes that he would be libeled and abused. It's a debate, man. You could show up, you can answer questions, you could reject the propositions in the questions, you could answer the questions. I mean, it's a debate. You know, only someone who has such a massive victims complex as Donald Trump would basically say that having to participate in a debate means that that will be abuse towards him. Then he also shows his malignant narcissism here as well, saying that nobody consulted him about having debates and that a debate needs to be approved by him if there's going to be any debates. And he says that's because of a seemingly insurmountable numbers. Like the primary season hasn't even started yet. There hasn't even been a single primary state that's even close to taking place. And he's saying based on a seemingly insurmountable lead, but that is one of the tactics of fascism that everyone needs to pay attention to, and it's historically done. It's to create the impression that victory is inevitable and therefore don't even try to stop it because any actions will be futile. It's about trying to present a vision of grandeur that just doesn't exist at all, and trying to create that vis-a-vis propaganda. And that's what's taking place here. He goes on and he whines even more. Here he goes. Fred Ryan, publisher and CEO of the Washington Post, has always tried to hide the fact that he's also the chairman of the Reagan Library. It's like, all right, man, why are you whining so much? I get it. Then just don't go to the Reagan Library. The Reagan Library all of a sudden is too woke. You can't do it. Okay, Fred Ryan, the publisher and CEO of the Washington Post, has always tried to hide the fact that he's also chairman of the Reagan Library. He knew the reaction from real Republicans, not the rhinos that don't care, would be volatile. He's also hiding it from his liberal friends. President Ronald Reagan would not approve. Look, we've had President Ronald Reagan's son on our podcast and on our live shows, and he stated that certainly Ronald Reagan would never approve of somebody like Donald Trump at all. And then it's just more whining. It's like, okay, look, you feel that having to give a debate is like being abused, so just don't go. It's fine. But the constant whining and playing the victim, oh, they're going to abuse me if I go debate. They're going to abuse you. They're going to ask you questions. I get it. You're scared that you're going to look like a fool because you are a fool. You're scared you're going to be asked some tough questions by people who are not Mark Levin and not Sean Hannity. and you're going to have to answer real questions. I get that you are scared of that, but that's called the real world. This is a job interview, and you have a lot of questions that you have to answer. But I guess, look, the MAGA Republicans a cult. They're probably not going to care if you debate or don't debate. And it's really sad state that the Republican Party has become this right now. Here's another post by Donald Trump, and he goes, "What Congressman James Comer and Jim Jordan have revealed about the Biden crime family would be Watergate times 10 if this news was revealed just 10 years ago." He put a video of himself saying this too. Here, let me show you the video as well. Play the video.
What Congressman James Comer and Jim Jordan have revealed about the Biden crime family would be Watergate times 10 if this news was revealed just 10 years ago. Our fake news media is corrupt at a level like never seen before. There has never been anything like it. If this kind of information came out in the past, writers would be getting Pulitzer Prizes when Pulitzer Prize meant something. It doesn't mean very much anymore. Yes, our media is totally corrupt.
I don't even know what he's talking about. I mean, if you watch the other MeidasTouch podcast, the last one that we just did, and you should subscribe on audio to the MeidasTouch podcast as well. One of the things I said to my younger brothers who co-host the show with me during the podcast was, these MAGA Republicans so live in their own MAGA echo chamber. I was like, remember those like toys back in the day that were all the rave like 20 years ago or so called Furbies, and they all speak their own language? I'm like, this is just fascist Furby language at this point. Like, what are they even referring to? And by the way, people like James Comer and Jim Jordan, they're cloaked with immunity under the speech and debate clause in our Constitution, where they could say, oh, we're just engaged in legitimate legislative investigations, but really they're just engaged in defamation. So they have this immunity from defamation lawsuits under the Constitution if what they say is legitimate legislative activity, which it's completely not here. But they just make up stuff to try to cover for the fact that Trump and his family, what they've engaged in, is thousands of times worse than Watergate. I mean, these people want to hoist up a fascist authoritarian regime. They're doing it in our face every single day, and it's just the ultimate projection. They've given up on democracy, and this is what authoritarians do. That's why we got to show you these videos. Like, what you watch there is the ultimate projection of what authoritarians do. And here's the dumb authoritarian wannabe, Don Jr., selling his daddy's book about letters that he received from genocidal maniacs. He goes, look what I compiled. I got letters from Kim Jong-un. Got letters from Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin, and I put it in a book, and we're selling it to our cult followers. Play this clip.
Guys, super excited about this book. I put it together with my friends at Winning Team Publishing. This is Letters to Trump.
I mean, how is this stuff real life? How is this real life? I want to show you, though, this is President Biden's campaign announcement. I want to show you this first, then I want to show you Donald Trump's response to it. But so it's President Biden's announcement that he will be seeking a second term in office. I think it's an incredible announcement. And again, it's focused on freedom. It's focused on freedom, real freedom. Play the clip.
Freedom, personal freedom, is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote. When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we still are. The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer, I know what I want the answer to be, and I think you do too. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election. So if you're with me, go to joebiden.com and sign up. Let's finish this job. I know we can, because this is the United States of America. There's nothing, simply nothing we cannot do if we do it together.
And what is Donald Trump's reaction? Oh, well, here he's grifting and selling the book of his letters. You see that over there. And this is what Donald Trump says over here in this clip. He talks about how he goes, our children are being indoctrinated and mutilated by left-wing freaks and zealots. Play this clip.
Our children are being indoctrinated and mutilated by left-wing freaks and zealots.
You know, these MAGA Republicans just wake up every day thinking about bathrooms and thinking about genitals and thinking about the Mr. Potato Head and the green M&M and, you know, not thinking about issues that the American people really care about, not thinking about jobs, not thinking about better working conditions, not thinking about, you know, just how to improve our country and quality, focusing on education, lowering prescription drug prices. No, the MAGA Republicans just make up stuff and try to scare people because that's what fascists and authoritarians do. But this is Biden giving a speech in front of the Builders and Trade Union. Here, just watch what they say right here to President Biden. Play the clip.
4 more years! 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 4 more years!
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, 4 more years, 4 more years. Do I agree with President Biden on every issue? No. Should I agree with him on every issue? No. Should you agree with him on every issue? No. Should you agree with me on every issue? Definitely no. But let's live in a world of reality here. Okay, let's resist this authoritarian, disgusting vision, fascist theocracy that these MAGA Republicans want to create. Their extremism, their Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, Lauren Boebert, they can't be making decisions over you and your family and your friends and your colleagues and coworkers and neighbors and our country. They can't. They are not fit for that purpose. They're frankly not fit for really anything at all. I mean, they're very hateful people, and they're incompetent, and you know, and they really want to cause harm to our country. There's no other way around it, folks. So you got to see the stakes here. You got to see what's going on. And we're going to call it out here each and every day on the MeidasTouch Network and just show you how extreme these MAGA Republicans are. And, you know, you could tell your friends and colleagues, look, there's a group of pro-democracy where there's a lot more pro-democracy Americans than there are of these MAGA extremists. We care about our country. We love our country. We love our Constitution. Yeah, we could always make it better. We could always make things better here. But we want to show our love for our country through our conduct. We don't need a lie. We don't need to do all this performative BS. We're going to call it out, though. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your awesome support. So please hit subscribe. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. And in addition to our Patreon, wherever you get your audio podcast, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast as well. Thank you so much for watching, and hit subscribe right now on our YouTube. Have a great day.
Lock him up! Indictment season is upon us. Celebrate with the new Indictment season t-shirt and v-neck exclusively at store.MeidasTouch.com.